it's visual, so I may want to do it during the pre-show, not during the actual show for
Yeah, you
our
could
listeners. If
describe it. I've always done that too.
yeah,
If you're holding something up and describe what it is, but that's fine too. All right, let me do the thing with the thing. Hello, chat room. I see that we're live. Not this one. Not this one. This one.
yep, and that was my phone going off saying that we were live.
Twitch.tv/Tauren think. No. Think tank. Tauren Tink Tank. Oh, by the
Take
way,
take.
I still haven't fixed the issue with that you can't
Oh,
hear the
okay.
sounders yet. Everything is mucked up right now. So, yeah. So I have no sounders for you, but the sounders go to the chat room. So, in there too. Jay, Jay. It's the internet from Jules.
It's
Hi,
the
Pirate
internet.
Boots. How you doing? Hi, Biv. Hi,
Hi,
MacGyver. Let's do this
hi,
thing.
everybody.
Hi,
Well,
Colin. Hi, Tiber. Welcome to the Thursday night Tauren Think Tank Extravaganza. I'm channeling my inner RuPaul right now.
extravaganza.
Have you ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race?
I have not.
Oh my god, I love RuPaul's Drag Race.
I
Well, it
don't
is
think I have
Drag
that.
Race.
I don't have that channel, so I never get a chance to
Do you have
watch it.
VH1 now? You've got VH1, don't you?
We don't have
No?
TV.
You don't have cable.
Don't have
Okay.
TV.
Well,
Nope.
it's on
We have
Netflix.
rabbit ears, and that's it. Yeah.
I think it's on Netflix now, or it's on something. It's got to be on something streaming. I know people have watched it on streaming. It is so good, and it's so over the top, and it's usually something related to extravaganza. So it's the best. It's my favorite. You're not allowed to have any ganzas, Jay.
So
So
many
are you
guns.
just gonna be extrava J? Oh no, Jay Ganza. What about smorgasbords? Yeah, no kidding. I like the word smorgasbord. That's a cool name, a cool word. I'm trying to get the connection between my brain and my mouth working. It's not quite there yet. It's a
There
Ganza
you go.
free zone.
No Gonzas.
No Gonzas for you. Just Gonza free zone.
You have no Gonzas.
Draven. Somebody
starting
broke
early.
Draven.
Yeah.
Somebody broke Draven Dresden. Just go reboot Draven. How's everybody doing? How's the
How was your week?
how's your week been? My gosh, this week has flown by.
It has. It really has. I blame my 2 days of virtual training where I didn't have to actually go into work. So like those days flew by, and now I was at work earlier and I was thinking, okay, I have to do this because I have to do this, and I was like, I have to do something, it's like 48 hours ahead. I have to do
Yeah.
something. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what day is 48 hours? That's Saturday. Is today Thursday? I was like, oh, today is Thursday.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yes. That's exactly what happened to me this morning when I got up and I got out of bed. I kind of just, putzed around and got out of bed. And I went, oh no. We never sent out Tell Us One Thing questions this week.
Yeah.
And,
We got a little,
Marconin forgot too. And I was
Yep.
like, oh no. Because my brain, this brain has been in complete, future planning mode for 2018 for the entire week. And everything is just kind of this, it's been in this, kind of heightened, creative, analytical state. And my normal schedule is just effed. So it's just, there's nothing like trying to do things, trying to do things like that. So we literally it dawned on me this morning and I'm like, I am not going to send out questions this late. So I have a feeling. How did you find a boat, Dad? Oh, you found a boat on your phone.
Yeah.
On Twitch. I bet you found it on
Emoji
your
boat.
He went. Hi, Dad. You outsmarted the thing. That's awesome.
Come get on the boat. The emoji boat.
Dad sent me a message and he's like, "Can I put a boat in front of my name?" And I said, "No, you can't," because I thought he was talking about the Twitch badges with stuff in the front of the name. And I said, "No, you can't." So then he figured it out the other way. He's a smart cookie. He's a smart cookie.
You got it figured out, that's for sure.
Let's see who else is here. Oh, it's Solomio. Hi, Solomio, and Saphira's here. And who did I miss? Anybody? Anybody?
I had to reset my chat, so I only see the people you've already said. But hello, everybody.
Yes, yes. MacGyver says, "I hope your car stuff is doing better."
It'll work itself out.
Okay, good.
Thankfully, yeah. Driving a loaner at the moment, so
Nice. Well,
I do have wheels.
you've got wheels, which is a good thing. We have an octopus in the chat.
Ah!
Yes, there's an octopus in the chat. All right, so just to give you guys fair warning, this show might get a little heated because we kind of trial run this discussion last week, and it got heated. So,
Well, a little bit.
so
Just a
buckle
little bit.
in on this one, you guys. Bring the popcorn. Maybe
It's going to get spicy.
Yeah, might need some spicy water, as the illustrious Coltrane used to say. Man, it was cool to see him at BlizzCon.
Oh, it really was.
That was a total surprise too. Some people like Pat said something on some show that I knew that Coltrane was coming, and I didn't know. Nobody told me.
I knew.
You knew, and so
I knew the day before.
You knew the day before, and so people were like, "These people knew," and I didn't know. And someone says, "Oh my God, there's Coltrane," and I turned around and I was like, "Oh my God!"
That's why we didn't say anything. That's why we didn't say anything.
Yeah, I mean, whoever got to see my face when I realized it was just like, "Oh my gosh!" It was pretty cool to have.
Battle Panda should have had his camera ready.
Seriously, I don't know where he was at that time, but it's so funny because I put the pictures out for the CTR party this week, and I realized how much I missed from all the stuff that I had to deal with the party stuff. And I'm like, that happened? Like, the guy from the guild was there? The guy who played Blades from the guild was there?
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
I know. I had no idea he was there. I was just like, wait.
That is awesome.
I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, what? I know this guy. And he's like, yeah, that's Blades from the guild. I'm like, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Like, that was really funny. And then like there were a bunch of fursuits there, and I didn't see them. And I was just like, oh my God.
Well,
and I never even saw Kaz when she got on the stage until like the end.
Yeah, I got a chance to hold Hogger's head at the panel. It was so cool. It was very lightweight.
Yeah.
So when I was going through my little shadow box things, and on the back of my one of my badges, I came across a couple of my Steerbucks coffee mugs stickers. Came across a couple of them. I got two. There we go. Two sizes of them that Kranos had given me.
Yeah.
Because I have my mug still.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I went and looked, and those things are still gone forever. But I still have the stickers, and I'm very happy that I do, because it's so cool.
I saw Kratos for like 5 minutes when we were at BlizzCon. Yeah. It was so good to see him.
It was really good to see him too.
I mean, I met Kranos in 2013, and it was just like, that's crazy. It's just crazy. All right, chat room. Marconin can't hear the sounders, but I'm going to test the sounders on you and make sure they fit and go.
Trifling gnome, your arrogance will be your undoing.
Trifling gnome is the one. Did you guys trifle that gnome?
They usually are. They're always trifling.
You heard it. Good deal. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know what is borked with my system. There's something weird. Everything kind of got rerouted and janked. So I need to get Kalani on that. And I didn't last weekend because I was kind of busy. So.
Oh, tech support.
I know.
Tech support, I need help.
I tell you what, Kalani is my living tech support. Why is this broken? Please help me.
Don't.
Because I don't know what it is. There's just stuff about certain things related to sound and sound routing that my brain just kind of goes blah, and it just doesn't want to remember anything. So
well, and it's it's almost like I have to have a visual representation of what's going on, because I've tried to do some of that routing stuff, and I just kind of went click, and it just breaks a fuse in my head.
Yeah, if I had like a written tutorial, I might be able to figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah, but when you have to like create your own cat hair on my.
Oh, I know. Welcome to my life.
I know. It's just I don't mind the little fuzzy ones, but there's like a huge one in there. I'm like, this is gonna distract me.
It's gonna poke you in the nose.
I'd be cross-eyed looking at it the whole show, just like, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my brain did a blarg.
You know what
so
else?
much so that I messed up that sentence.
I know, my brain does a blarg. The other thing that makes my brain go wonky like crazy is stupid postage calculation. My God.
Yeah.
It's the most arbitrary and stupid thing where you're like, the Postal Service needs to just get their crap together because it's so freaking complicated. And like, I mailed out a bunch of stuff for the CTR party and live stream people, and then when we did like the Kickstarter and stuff, some people got like, it went through perfect to them. Some of them had postage due on them, and I'm like, it's the same package. It's the same weight. I weighed all of them, and they were the same thing every single time. It depended on, and since some had different amounts on them, it was like, this is that much due, or this one. And I'm like, and I feel
maybe
like
it was the
I felt like a complete heel because I'm like, guys, I am so sorry. Like, there shouldn't be postage due on that. So, and then, you know, I always feel like stamps.com, when I use them, that the measurement it gives me is like overcharging me. So, you basically have to kind of go through that measure now, because otherwise, if you just try to use a stamp or 2 stamps, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So stupid. So I feel so bad. I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. I'll just make sure I do it better next time. Okay. So.
Whoops.
All right, let's ready to check the chat room.
Ready, check.
Check in the chat room. Press 1 if you're ready to pull. Da, 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 da. I appreciate that every time you guys let me know it's ready. Ugh, my triceps are killing me today.
Yeah.
My workout from yesterday is kicking my booty.
I really need to get back to doing the gym more often. It's been a bit of a struggle.
I think my wall push-ups were like overly done yesterday. I did 2 push-ups on the wall. Yeah, it's like triceps hurt. I was having the weirdest thing. I was having like up in here in my arm. It started last night. I had a muscle spasm that was like the muscle just started to flutter. And I was working on a chainmail piece, and the muscle is just like, you know, twitching. And it, you know, I went to bed. I got up, this morning, and I sat down in my office chair, and Garrus immediately jumped up on my chest and wanted cuddles before I got my coffee and everything. And so I was kind of holding him, and then the thing starts jumping again, and I'm watching it under my t-shirt, like it's literally just like popping underneath my t-shirt. It's like, I might have something in like my arm. It might be possessed. I don't know.
There's an alien.
There's an alien in my tricep. That sounds like a good band name.
You like that scene from, Alien and Spaceballs, you know. Oh no, not again.
What's a gremlin? What's a gremlin, Pirate Poots? I don't
gremlin?
know. Oh, gremlin.
Yeah, gremlin.
I was like, what's a gremlin?
Gremlins.
I thought I was missing some kind of like specific referred mythological creature. Just can't spell. That's awesome. All right, Marconin, you ready?
Yeah, I almost didn't pull up the show notes. There we go. Show notes are up.
Notes of the show are needed.
Notes of the show.
All right. Here we go. I've got my notes up. It's 2:51. Today's the 16th. Yes, it is. Okay. Cool beans. Gremlin is the new player.
The new allied race, allied only with Pandaren.
Yes. Oh my god, the spasmic's happening again. It's literally jumping up my arm. You can't see it. My gremlin is back.
Just kind of like, hello.
Greetings and salutations. All right.
You have been called. And I must answer.
It's jumping. It's so weird. All right. Episode 251 of Tauren Think Tank records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 251 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, November 16th of 2017. I don't know where the month of November has gone, but it's half over, and here we are. It is 8:15 in the PM in the central time zone. My name is Jules, and with me, as always, is the air drummer himself, because he can't hear the music because my system is borked, so he can't hear what is actually going on, but he's a good sport anyway. His name is Marconin.
Hey, you gotta fake it till you make it, you know.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Yeah. I think the reason why half the month is over and we don't really feel like it should be is that BlizzCon is like, it's like when you travel close to the speed of light, you get that time dilation. Like
yes.
The time just moves differently. And on top of that, it always does daylight savings time, goes back to standard while we're there. So we come back and it's like, you know, it's like Planet of the Apes. It's like, oh, you ruined it. You know, you just like something's different. Like the whole world has changed.
I know.
And then, you know, and you know, we came back from, I feel like it was just Halloween, like yesterday.
It kind of was. Like
it felt, you know, but now it's 2 weeks away. It was 2 weeks ago. So
yeah.
It's just, it does, you know, oh, and man, I walked into Walmart the other day and the big old sign on the front said 43 days till Christmas. Like, I got to start thinking about buying stuff. And putting tree up, and the lights, and my Santa hat that's over in the drawer there that's always ready for me
I gotta go
for
find
the
my
show.
Santa hat. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
I'm going to ask my boss if I can wear my Santa hat at work.
I
It'd be
wouldn't think they would mind unless you had somebody who was like, I hate Christmas.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, you know, if I can see the tree in the window as I pull up, and it's like, oh, great, they got it. Put the hat on. And then I walk in like, hey. Otherwise, just leave it in the car. Yeah. But yeah, it is Thursday. I did not remember that it was Thursday until about 4:00 today. So that's a thing.
And here's something that'll mess you up. A week from today is Thanksgiving.
I know.
Which means that we're not going to be able to record the show next week on Thursday. We'll have to talk about if we can do it on a different day or not, because we haven't even done that. Like, we're kind of broken today. We've just been kind of messed up. Forgot tell us one thing questions completely. Didn't send them out, and it didn't even occur to me until this morning. So we apologize for being a little discombobulated. I'm just happy that we were able to like fully record an episode last week. Like, I feel like that was an achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
To get a show out after BlizzCon and not have one of us be super sick or have one of us be missing a voice or both. And so I think we get a pass. I think. You
know, I think that the Moo crew would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because we're here. I mean, we're here at least.
We are here. And so whether or not we will be here next week on at all will be determined on what we can do for our schedules. Obviously, we will not be here Thursday because it is the holiday, but we'll figure that out. And speaking of everything that we have to figure out, things going on in the world, what's been going on in the world of Marconin?
Well, just gearing up for the holidays at work is really one of the bigger things. Is just trying to, you know, it's like when you get on a roller coaster and you're just going up the hill. You're going up the hill, and then when you make that first little crest before gravity takes hold, and you can see where you're going. And you know what it's like because you've seen the people gone before you while you're waiting in the line. That's where we're at right now. That's where everybody is right now in retail. So it's like you know where you're going and you're waiting for gravity to take hold and just yank you down. Yeah. So that's where we're at work. Big news that I said I would say on the show.
Yes.
I tweeted out earlier that it looks like I may have to be going to San Antonio again in January next year.
Oh, darn.
I know. And people that aren't maybe new listeners or aren't aware of what we have done the last 2 years in January in San Antonio, PAX South.
Yes.
And even better than just me going, they're actually going to let me get in front of a bunch of people and talk on a microphone because I'm going to be on a panel. And I'm going to be there with some awesome friends and people that we know.
Yes.
Friends of the show. I'll be there with Dr. Anthony Bean and his wife, Dr. Holiday Bean, as well as Joel Christensen, who is an indie game developer. And he was there with us last year.
Yes.
Or this year, technically. And I'll be speaking at PAX South on Sunday. And that's Sunday the 14th. Yes, Sunday the 14th of January.
Yay.
3 p.m. So if you're going to PAX South, that's where I'll be for sure. I'll be there. I'm going to try and be there on Saturday to walk the floor and see everything. And we're going to the panel is called Anxiety and Depression You Can Harness, Furthering Yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the description, I'll just read it real quick. It says, anxiety and depression are clinical experiences which are not considered to have a positive place in our lives. However, when harnessed appropriately, they can be a powerful driving force for us. These panelists have all experienced depression and anxiety at some point. It can be debilitating. However, they have all used it to advance themselves into where they are currently today. This panel will focus on harnessing this power to further oneself in life. So, yeah.
Excuse me. That is awesome. And if you're asking yourself, why is Jules not doing this?
Because she hates me.
I decided that I hate Marconin and I never want to travel with him ever again. No.
My snoring's not that bad.
Well, yes, it is, but
well, yes, it is.
It is not bad. But in all honesty, I had to make some really tough decisions this year, and coming up in 2018, after buying my own place and having to kind of settle that, I needed to make some tough decisions about what kind of trips I was going to make this year. And and so unfortunately I had to scratch something from the list, and PAX South had to be it. And just because of the expense, and because home ownership, it ain't cheap, and I'm doing it on my own, so I have to be an adult, and Marconin's gonna pick up my slack. So
well, I'm gonna attempt to. I'm a little nervous doing a panel without you there next to me because it'll be the first time.
I know, but you have Tony and Holiday.
I've got Tony and Holiday and Joel.
And they're just great.
Yeah, they are, and it'll be a great time. I enjoy PAX South because it's so different than the other cons that we go to, because it's not just Blizzard games. It's not just the gamers that we know. It is, I got to play Street Fighter V before it came out. I got to see the Nintendo Switch before it came out. Yep. There was a Hearthstone tournament going on there with people from Blizzard. So a little bit of everything. I don't know the complete schedule yet, but I do know that if you are going to go, I think tickets per day are $40, which compared to BlizzCon's $200 is not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So if you do want to come see us, you can check the schedule, but it'll be on Sunday, January 14th at 3 p.m. in the Armadillo Theater, which I think is the one that we used this year as well.
I don't remember.
I think it was Armadillo. It's on that same area, so it'll be cool. I love going to see it. It's so different. So if you're planning on going, definitely drop me a line and say hi. So maybe we can figure out, we'll go do dinner or something, figure out something. So it'll be good.
And I will create a channel in our Discord, as we have done in the past, for anybody who does wish to go and wants to coordinate. That would be great. We can set that up and you guys can talk about it from there.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can bring your video camera and record the panel and the audio for us this time.
Yeah. Well, and in this time I need to get in contact with the AV people with them, because they said when we were there that I could have patched in and just recorded straight from their board, and that would have made the audio a lot better. So
right.
And yes, Tiber, the PAX South is close to the Riverwalk. You could pretty much throw a rock or a semi-lightweight person from the convention down into the Riverwalk. It is pretty close.
Totally walkable from certain points on the Riverwalk for sure. Riverwalk is pretty big, so.
But we all know the real reason why I'm going, right?
Yeah, I know why you're going. Scotch eggs.
Scotch eggs, yeah.
There's this awesome English pub that we've been to the last 2 years that have these Scotch eggs that Marconin had for the first time, and it's like I see them like floating above you.
I know. It's like a little cloud bubble above my head, and they're just like circling around, just delicious Scotch eggs. So one time a year I get them, but yeah. So doing that. The other thing, Jules wanted me to show you guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, which you can at Marconin. Well, I have taken almost all of my pins, my collector pins that are over here, and I've turned them into these nice little display shadow boxes that I will show the chat. We can't probably see all of it, but
yeah, bring it back just a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
I'll talk around it so you can see it. It's got my and you can kind of see the screen.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah, it's got my badges from each year in there, and it's also got all the pins that I've got. And I've got them separated per year, and they're really cool. I've been doing a lot of kind of crafty decorating collectible thingings with them. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have them on the wall, probably the wall up here behind the camera. So
that's okay.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Pictures of all of them on Twitter so people can see what you did. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I do. Yeah, you can definitely check it out.
Go check out Marconin WoW on Twitter and look at his photos.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. Our good friend Nevermore kind of gave me the idea, and I was just kind of looking around like, you know what? I've got all my badges and all my pins and stuff, and I was like, I'll just organize them like that because I think it's a cool idea. And so just got all that situated, and it looks really cool. And I've had a lot of fun organizing them and like, okay, well, how are they going to look? And I obsess over that kind of thing to make them look nice and even and all that stuff. But yeah, so a lot of things going on the last couple of weeks since BlizzCon, especially last week with all this collecting stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot going on. And I know there's, you've had stuff going on too. Well, like you said, you're going to you've been doing a lot of prep for 2018. Mm-hmm. All the little ideas for BlizzCon 2018. It's already time to think about it.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, we're doing all of this stuff that's kind of prepping for the party in 2018, and also for just the guild in general, ideas and things to for the podcast Convert to Raid, and also the guild, and all where do we want to go now? Now that we've seen all these things kind of come into play with what Blizzard has in mind, so there's a whole lot of stuff that I can't talk about yet, but it's been like the concepts are there, and there'll be stuff coming out pretty soon, and on certain things, and some of it not for a little bit yet, so we have to flush out these ideas and really work them. But so there's just been a lot of that going on. I've been working on some holiday commissions for chainmail, for gifts that people have commissioned for the holidays already, which is great. I did this beautiful statement necklace for a fellow guild member as a gift to his wife, and it was the coolest thing to do and kind of create based off of a picture. It was like, here's a picture. I want you to make something like this, but I want you to be creative with it. And I was like, yeah. So that was super cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, but like one of the things that has happened this week that I can talk about that's been something I've been very proud of is that I got to do something that I've always wanted to do. And that was to get onto a podcast and talk about Heroes of the Storm esports.
HGC. Yeah.
Awesome. If you follow me on Twitter, there's no secret. I am a very passionate HGC fan. Heroes Global Championships, the league play. I watch it every week. I am very much in tune with what's going on, and but I don't really have like this outlet to talk about it. Sometimes I'll go on Convert to Raid and I'll talk about it, but it's pretty infrequent, right? So to make a long story short, last spring I was contacted by the guys who are behind what used to be the Rally Point podcast, and now they are called Nerf This, and they are run by Turner Esports E-League. They've been doing this for quite some time, and we were talking about some future project ideas as a group, because they had heard about me as a referral from other people, and they wanted to get to kind of a crew of people that had like really nerdy backgrounds, of interest in nerdy culture, and so those projects are still kind of in the works, but they hadn't gotten off the ground. And in those discussions, especially with Brian Huff, who is one of the hosts of Nerf This, we'd become good friends and talked a lot about Heroes Esports, and so we'd like debate about stuff on Discord back and forth, and talk about this player and this type of thing. And I actually met them for the first time in person at Con Before the Storm. They sent me a message. They're like, "Are you here?" And I'm like, "Yes." And so I got a picture with him and his friend Andy, who is also part of the podcast. And in the time frame when we were talking, Brian had sent me a message and asked me some questions about HGC and that kind of thing, because they cover all esports. So like they can't specialize in all of it. It's just that it's everything. It's Rocket League and LoL and Dota and CSGO and all these things. So he sent me a message. We were talking about some stuff, and I said, "Hey, if there's anything I can ever do to help, let me know." And he goes, "Actually, there is. I need to do a recap of the HGC finals, and I would like to talk to you about that for the show." And I was like, "What?" It's just like this slow motion, like, everything just kind of went, and so and I was super like, oh gosh, okay. So I hadn't watched the finals except for like a couple of the matches. I watched the final, actually like the finals, and I watched one of the semifinal matches, or the quarterfinal matches, sorry, and the rest of them I had missed because of the party. So I spent the entire day on Saturday from like morning till like evening when we recorded, watching all the VODs from everything and taking like these copious notes and all this kind of thing. And we got onto the show, and it was just awesome. Like, he and I this is the first time we ever podcasted together, and we just clicked instantly. And it was awesome. It was such a great vibe. I had an awesome time. And I was super nervous when the show went live on Monday, because it goes out on Mondays. And I'm like, oh, God, I hope I don't sound like an idiot. I hope, because nobody's heard me talk about HGC stuff or esports in a larger capacity like that.
Yeah.
So show goes live, and all of a sudden I start getting all these follows on Twitter. And and then people are like tweeting at me and letting me know that they really enjoyed what I had to say. And it was awesome. And I was so excited. And then Brian sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, all the roster swaps are going on right now. You want to come on the show this week and talk about those?" And I'm like, yes! So I'm coming back this week to talk about the roster apocalypse. And so super, super excited. Like, don't ever discount the power of networking with people. Like, for real, you guys.
Absolutely.
You just never, ever know what kind of opportunities can come your way by making that contact or introducing yourself to somebody, or just, these guys found me, but I'm working on another gig that Pat and I may be coming up with, which came from me literally walking up to someone after a panel and saying, "Hi, my name is Jules Scott, and I'd like to talk to you about what you just talked about." Like, literally, that's what happened. Yeah. And that contact has turned into potentially something that I can announce in a couple of months. So another secretive thing. But again, do not discount the power of making connections with people in the things that you enjoy, especially, like if it's stuff you enjoy, because you just never know. You just never know what can turn into it, and following up on it. So anyway, really long talk about that, but I wanted to share that story because it's something that's really been super important to me and an accomplishment that I'm super proud of. So.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you should be, because it's fantastic.
I'm like stoked. And I when I asked Brian, I'm like, "So by the way, how many listeners do you guys typically get?" And he's just like, "It's not that many." And then he reads off a number where I'm like, "What?"
Uh-oh.
It's like, that's more than I've probably ever been on any show.
Those many.
And I'm like, "Oh, just that many, huh?" And he's like, "Uh-huh." And I'm like, so that was super cool. And so thank you, chat room. You guys are super nice and saying that you're proud of me, and I appreciate that.
Well, they're not the only ones that are proud of you.
I appreciate it. I'm so excited to talk about the roster swaps this week, and because I just nerd out about this stuff. It's so much fun for me. And to get to do it on a show where people actually want to hear what I have to say is awesome. And I will say this, I think there's just an awesome, awesome, awesome opportunity for more women in esports. And I want to do more to perpetuate that. So I just stoked that they gave me this shot. So yes, that is awesome with me. So,
Lots of good stuff.
As we talked about with self-confidence last week, be proud of the things that you have accomplished. I am giving myself praise and saying I did a good job because I'm proud of myself.
You did.
So
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you. And don't be afraid to chase your dreams. Okay, so
don't let your dreams be dreams.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Did we have anything that we needed to talk about? Oh, I'm going to be on Dark Moon Herald this weekend.
Ooh.
So I will be on that show coming up. Why is my floor shaking? That's weird. That was like an earthquake or something. That was weird. Yeah, no kidding.
I was trying to think, am I feeling one?
Right.
San Andreas Fault's not far from here.
I know. All right.
Or no, I think Madrid, not San Andreas. I'm done.
I don't think we have anything else to talk about for anything at this point. Okay. So
no, I think we're good.
We're going to launch into our discussion, which is a submitted question from a listener. And let's do it with this one.
Let's kick around some... ideas, not gnomes.
That poor gnome.
Always. Every time.
Poor gnome. Sorry, gnome. All right. Buckle in, you guys. It's going to get spicy in here.
Yep.
This is a very hot button question, hot topic that's been out there on the internet, and I'm sure that the chat room will have plenty to say about it. So let's go ahead and dig in. Hello, Jules and Marconin. In one of my Discords, we were having a lovely discussion about the introduction of voice communications to Heroes of the Storm and what that can mean for women and other traditionally harassed groups. I'm personally not part of one of those groups, so I spent a lot of time listening to what others had to say about their experiences. The following is my paraphrasing of what some of my friends told me. In the competitive mode of Overwatch, it is basically expected by the community that you have a microphone and participate in voice chat. If you don't, you're considered to be bringing the team down or even trolling. This, of course, poses a problem for women, as they have much greater chance of getting harassed if they participate in voice chat. That puts them in a double jeopardy where they are damned if they do and damned if they don't, and leads many to the decision of simply not playing the competitive mode of Overwatch. What do you two think about the dilemma of voice chat in video games? There are pros in terms of community building and increased quality of gameplay, but there are also cons in terms of avenues of harassment and exclusion of players based on their identity. I have my opinion on the subject, but I'm not the person who's going to be experiencing the brunt of the negatives that this feature can bring. Keep up the great work, from Crushinator.
Thanks for writing in, Crushinator.
Yes, most definitely.
It's definitely a topical issue.
If you've been on Twitter for the last probably 10 days, you most definitely have run across this if you follow anything related to Warcraft, Blizzard, Heroes of the Storm. Most definitely.
I haven't seen a whole lot. I've seen a little bit. I guess it's just based on when I look at Twitter and who I'm following and who I'm not following. I didn't see a whole lot.
Oh, honey.
So, but I know, like I have seen, like, they're talking about like booby streamers. I've seen that's a thing where girls that dress provocatively on Twitch get more followers than guys do, and they're running the community. But that's a whole different. That's a whole different thing. That's the only thing that I've seen lately. I mean, yeah. So I'm coming in at like, I'm walking around the corner, not seeing it coming, right, ready for the frying pan to hit me in the face with it. So that's where I'm coming from today.
Okay. So disclaimer, Marconin and I had discussed, we got this letter last week and we already had a letter for the show, so we didn't talk about it last week, but we had a little pre-discussion about it, and it did get a little bit heated. So there is a chance that could happen again. And we know to keep it, we're not gonna bash each other over the head over this, but this is
not.
I know that this is a very sensitive topic, and I know that, that there may be very, very high emotional levels going on, especially for those who are listening to this. I hope that they've settled a little bit, because the Twitter exchanges that I have seen have been very volatile. So let me start by saying this. Voice chat, in my opinion, is going to happen no matter what we decide. It's going to happen. However, I personally feel that it is a detriment to the game, and not as the support that because it's being added now. If it had been added from the start, I do think it would have been a different beast. But I am one of those women who have played competitive Overwatch and been harassed while playing with voice chat. And it is not okay. It is not. No. And so, it's not just women who experience this. It's anyone who sounds any kind of ethnic, anyone who has an accent, anyone who has a voice that is not considered deeply masculine.
Or if they have a lisp, or if they have a speech impediment, I would imagine too.
Sure. And, it's absolutely horrible. And so when I was at BlizzCon, I sat down and chatted for quite a bit with Ferociously Steph, aka Oddish, who's been on the show a couple of times. And Steph is very, very angry about this edition, and most definitely related to her community. Her community is made up of people who fit into the, as Crushinator put it, into the traditionally harassed groups. So that whole community is a group of people who just do not want this, because they do not want the playing field to be put in a position where they will have to make a choice whether they have to, where they include themselves in voice chat or not. Right now, you have the same level playing field for anybody because everybody's typing in text and communicating in text. So personally, I feel like this is a bad decision for Heroes of the Storm, though I do see the benefits of coordination with higher level players. It just opens up too many doors for harassment, discrimination, and for people to be treated poorly, and in ways that they can't avoid. Whether they turn it on or, so if they turn it off, and CC said, damned if they do, damned if they don't. So turn it on, they have the potential of making the harassment claims. If you turn it off, then you're accused of throwing the team or not communicating with the team and making it a disadvantage for the team. So that's my position. I'm going to open it to you.
Well, it did kind of hit me, I completely understand Jules's position and why she feels the way she does. And let's be honest, I'm one of the groups that historically lately these days that usually is not allowed an opinion. I'm a white guy. I'm a straight white guy. So usually my opinion doesn't hold water on these things, and I'm not, based on the fact of who I am, which I can't control. And just like the fact that Jules cannot control who she is, she cannot control that she's a woman. And I hate it when people do this, when they're on voice comms or they find out, oh, she's a woman. Are you hot? What are you wearing? They switch right to that. That, it doesn't even have to be voice chat. It could be what your tune's name is. It could be like you let something slip that someone calls you a her in guild chat or in raid chat. And, somebody, you finally find out that there's a woman in here. Oh my gosh, or there's somebody that talks funny in guild chat or can't type right, and they people who are sad people that like to pick on others, and those who do not understand that, gaming is one of the places where you can kind of be whoever you want to be. You can't be whoever you want to be in the real world because you're there, but when you get online, you have a persona. You can be anything you want to be. And you do take that level of anonymity away when you have these voice comms and stuff. But that should not be the focus when you're in a competitive match. That should not play a part. Now, I'm an idealist. I'm very, I try to think the best of people, and I want other people to think the best of them too. When I am raiding with people who are women, half my raid team, the raid teams I've been on are women, and they're fantastic. My friend RLA is a woman. She's one of the best tanks I've ever played with. Sorry, Trey, you're like second on that list, but she is fantastic. She's one of the best hunters I've ever seen. Prima's on my team. She's fantastic as well. Jules is one of the best healers, if not the best healer I've ever raided with. Is the fact that she's a woman play any part in that? Hell no, it doesn't. It's awesome that she is. I love rating with people that are different than I am, because it's the one place that we can all kind of come together, and people at different places all together and completing an objective together, or at least attempting to. We could wipe on the boss all night, but the fact that Jules' woman head plays no part in it.
Yeah.
That makes no part. The problem is, yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, the problem is that you aren't the problem. But
no.
If when you say that you hate that it's like you don't get an opinion in this, it's because those who are the problem are in your category.
Well,
if you want to put it into a category of woman, man.
We talked about this last week too. Well, woman, man, yes. Yeah.
White
woman,
man,
yes. You can't tell ethnicity necessarily over the microphone.
Yes, you can.
Not 100%. I know really white-sounding black guys.
Sure, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to that specific. Who are the people who are doing this? Who are the people that are causing this harassment, this discrimination, on the whole? And I'm obviously stereotyping, but I've only been harassed by men.
Yeah.
And most of them, I can bet, are probably white men. And it's just because there is a position, and I'm going to say the P word, of privilege.
Mm.
I'm going to say it. And
you can say it.
Because, this is where I'm so frustrated, because I treat people like people. Unless you are a douche, unless you are a dick, I am going to treat you like a person until you give me reason not to treat you like a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the most horrific thing the other day on Twitter, where it was retweeted by somebody. It was a female Twitch streamer playing PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Mm-hmm.
PUBG is an optional voice chat thing. Like, you don't need voice chat if you're playing solo. It's just there, and people can talk to you when you're in vicinity of them. But it's not like you're playing as a solo player most times, unless you're teamed up and then you're talking to your team. And this girl got a kill on another player, and he made some kind of sarcastic comment to say, "Oh, you're so good." And she replied, "Thank you." Just in that tone. Thank you. He realized she was female.
Just brush shoulders off.
Yeah. So she replied, "Thank you." He realizes she's female, and he starts harassing her, and she does not engage in it. He's trying to ask her if she's seen some video or some song, and she's like, "No, I'm good." No. Have you seen blah, 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 blah? No, I'm good. I'm fine, thank you. And then he replied, and he called her an effing bitch, and told her that he was going to shove his genitalia down her throat until she choked.
Nice.
Because she killed him in a game. And I will tell you, I have experienced that. I have been told to go back to the kitchen. I have been told to uninstall the game, that there's no place for me in playing that game. I have been asked if I'm hot because my voice is hot. I have been asked if I have a boyfriend. I am here to play a game. And this has all happened in Overwatch. I played Overwatch competitive for quite some time, tried to get some ranking, and I got so disgusted by what I was hearing that I just had to start turning it off. And then it was causing a problem because I wasn't listening to the coordination on voice chat. So then I had to choose whether I was going to listen to voice chat or not. And then I listened to it, but I never spoke. I only typed out because I didn't want people to know that I was female.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't happen.
You're right. It shouldn't.
And
that's not what they wanted in the game. They wanted it to be a place where you could coordinate, to where you could, do the positive things. But, it's that darn thing of human nature and free will that there's some assholes online.
There's a lot of assholes online.
And they're everywhere.
Yeah.
They are everywhere. You can't escape them on any platform. So it's human nature, It's not anything new. This is I mean, it happens in every, and I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just stating a fact. It exists, and it's something that's unavoidable. At least them being there.
Right.
So,
and so, I have to say that unfortunately it perpetuates and it continues because now in that video that I just described a little bit ago, there were other people that were close by in the vicinity who heard this, and no one called this guy out.
That's the thing. That's the thing that needs to change with it.
Yes. And so I think that, for every person, in my opinion, every person, especially the men who were on Twitter saying, well, you can just turn it off. You don't have to participate. You can, okay, but do you have to make that choice, number one? And if you don't, then you need to help those who are in the position of having to make that choice. If there is abuse, you have to stand up to it, because it's just, it doesn't stop. Like, I saw this on a streamer's recently, and I was really pretty impressed. There was a streamer who was playing a game, and he was on Overwatch, and he was on voice chat, and some guy in his group or in his team, he wasn't group with them, it was just a random group. He said, oh, we're going to rape these guys. And the streamer said, it's 2017. We don't say that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, dude. Like, he just, like, he called it out. He spoke up. He said, this isn't cool anymore. And I know that this is so easy to just spout out and say, but for every time that I have been harassed because I'm a girl, oh, you sound hot, there's nobody that's ever spoken up to say, leave her alone. Like, shut up, dude. Like, that's really obnoxious. That's inappropriate. Nobody has said that.
Yeah.
And so now it's up to me to either nod and smile and pretend that it didn't happen, or I have to speak up, and now I'm the one who's having to defend myself when all I want to do is play the effing game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a responsibility of other people in the game to stand up to that and try and, stamp out the bad eggs, the ones who are, harassing you and other people. It's easy to stand up because once someone does, it's kind of like when there's music playing, I forget what the theory is, but no one's dancing. And all of a sudden a couple decides, you know what, we're going to dance. And they go out and they start dancing. And then a second couple will, hey, they're dancing, I'll dance too. A third couple, I'll dance too. And all of a sudden everybody's dancing. Where did the switch happen? It's because someone decided to change it. Someone decided to go and say, hey, it's cool to dance. It's also cool to tell that a-hole to shut the hell up, and be confident in saying, like, dude, we're here to take down Hanamura. She doesn't want to date you. Say something. It's kind of like if you notice it, don't be silent. Like I don't play competitive Overwatch because I'm not that good. I play mystery heroes because it's random. It's random and I can play whatever I want. I don't have voice comms on. I don't care to deal with it. But I know in competitive, the pros to having the voice chat is you get to coordinate and be on a higher level of competitiveness because you've got that coordination. You've got all that down. But it's when you throw in that pesky little thing, called free will, and people being a jerk and people wanting to express their personal deficiencies or their backwards way of thinking onto other people, that we have the problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Blizzard's fault. I don't think it's the game developers' fault for that. That being said, they do bear some responsibility for owning the platform, and they do need to take steps going forward with it, which I know Kaplan wants for Overwatch. He hates trolls in that game. Yeah. He hates the people that do that. He wants to get rid of them all, and will gladly do that. I don't know if you guys heard, but people that were trolling at BlizzCon in Overwatch got kicked out. They got escorted away by security. Yeah, when they're playing on the floor and they're being douche nozzles, they would get escorted off the floor. And guess what? Your badge is also tied to your BattleNet if you put on the virtual ticket, so they know who you are. and they can put you on a list. They can check to make sure you're doing this, which is why it's even better to not be an a-hole in the first place, to not say those bad things online.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was just looking at the chat room.
Yeah.
I want to address one of the things that Draven said in the chat room. Draven Dresden said, there's also the issue of standing up to the idiot. White knighting has gotten a negative perception attached to it, too.
It absolutely does, but... Oh, go ahead.
I agree. Go ahead and take that one, because I think that would apply to you more than it would apply to me.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like, hey, dude, if she said, like, say if someone said something bad to Jules, and I'm like, hey, dude, shut up, she's not into you. Let's take down Hanamura. He's like, oh, you just want to bang her too, huh? Oh, you guys gonna be? I was like, dude, and that's when, you got to double down on it. You got to say, no, it's not okay. Shut up. Like this, we are not here to do this. We're not here to talk. I don't want to hear you hit on somebody. Can you not get a date in the real world? Is that why you're trolling competitive?
And literally, it is as simple, for me specifically, it'd be as simple as you saying, dude, that is not cool.
Mm-hmm.
And just state it as it is. Dude, not cool. Knock it off. And just, literally, that's all. To me, that's not white knighting. That's support. And I want that. I want that to be, like, to know that, hey, these people have my back and would not, and are trying to make it so that I am not feeling like I'm in an unwelcome environment, unsafe environment,
Mm-hmm.
It is an absolute horrible feeling as a woman to grow up always being on guard. I can remember when I was a kid and we went to New York City, and like in New York City, like there's all kinds of people in New York City. And I was a young girl. I remember this vividly. And some guy catcalled me as a young girl. And I was just like, and my dad, I remember my dad saying to me, just don't look at them. Don't acknowledge them. Just keep walking. But it's that disgusting, horrible, sickening feeling that you get in your gut for someone saying something that makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it has happened to me so many times in my life that it's like, and I can name you any woman that and they've dealt with the same thing. It's terrible. And when you go into a game, it's that place where you're supposed to feel like you don't have to deal with that stuff unless you choose to. And then you get into a voice situation where now all of a sudden your identity is more defined, I used to love it when all the internet was text chat, because all depending on what you decided to reveal to people was your choice. You didn't have to tell them anything. You didn't have to tell them what your age was, what your gender was, where you lived.
Yeah.
It can be anything you wanted to be, and this takes away that option. And for those that don't feel comfortable. That's really hard.
Yeah, it really is. But, there has, at some point, like as far as when it goes to being competitive and wanting to raise in the ranks, and if you don't have a dedicated team to roll with and you have to join these competitive random groups, like there comes a point where it is crucial to use the voice chat, into winning. And I want that technology to be there for the people that use it, but the people that use it, they do, like I said, I think too highly of people most times. I think a lot more of people than they really are, and I'm always let down by that.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think that someone wanting to be competitive would not care who is playing as long as you're winning. And if you lose, everyone loses.
Mm-hmm.
No one person is at fault in a team game. No one person can lose unless they throw the game. But if you're all working hard to do that, even though the game-winning pitch at the World Series was a home run, it took an entire series of games to get to that point. No one person lost the game. All these other factors go into it. So it's not just one person losing the match. So it's just dumb. People are so dumb sometimes.
It's just that there is, there adds a layer of complexity to this that doesn't exist in the game right now, which is
Mm-hmm.
the choice of whether or and yes, choice is good in a lot of cases, but you now have to make the choice as the player to whether you want to join that chat or not, and consider the consequences if you're playing competitive of your team possibly saying, if you're not in the voice chat, then you are causing us to intentionally have a disadvantage because you can't hear us, and you're going to go off and do your own thing, and we're going to be so now there's an additional choice for success that could happen. Now, again, these are all coulds, and it's not there yet, but this is what's happened in Overwatch. It's happened to me. Why isn't everybody in voice? We should be on voice to coordinate. And so the compromise that I had to make was that I'm going to listen, but I won't speak.
Yeah, just say mic's broken or something.
Or that I'm just going to type, because it's literally that choice that I have to make, which is harder. And it's unfair. And but I would do that rather than be harassed, or the potential of being harassed because of someone realizing that I'm female. Mm-hmm. And so what that does, and what it has done, is it has told me at this point that playing Overwatch competitive is not worth the stress of that. And so I stopped. And that's what a lot of people have done, and a lot of people will likely do, who have this same dilemma. So it is going to make people make the decision to not play in competitive situations. It's just going to do that, and that's unfortunate.
It is. There are tools that the game developers have put in. I mean, it's not an ideal situation because they can't just ban somebody because one person flagged their account. If they did that, then then no one would be playing because everybody would ban everybody.
Yeah.
But, it just sucks. Like, the only way that we can call out toxic people is to call out toxic people. The only way we can do that is to play the game, run into them, and say, that's not cool, report them, and enough reports go out, they get banned. Yeah, they can always make another account, but they have to start that grind over. I mean, and it's one of those things when the rain falls on the good and the evil equally. Yeah. The game is there for everyone, so you get everyone. Mm-hmm. You get the good, the bad, the smart, the dumb, everybody. Yeah.
It's very true.
Cast a wide enough net, you're going to get everything.
Absolutely.
But how do we sift through that? That's the problem is sifting through that and letting the people who want to play and be competitive and don't care who the other person is on the other side of the keyboard, as long as you're helping us win the game. Yeah. Finding those people. I mean, and I guess that's the point at which you try and, it's kind of like when we were finding raid teams way back when and finding our first guild. You find the people that you can play with and you enjoy playing with, you friend them, you build this together, and then you go do stuff together. I don't know if we're past that point because that's so 2004 when you actually talk to people in guild and all this stuff.
It was very much like that. Like, I had one of those realizations when we were playing WoW. I was so used to playing with people who were comfortable. I was comfortable with and knew me, and it didn't matter what gender I was. My performance was the only thing that mattered in terms of raiding with them, and at high levels. And then getting into a pickup group where they required you to be on voice chat, and then it all changed. And that sinking, horrible feeling of knowing that when I spoke and people were like, "Oh, it's a girl." And, that hasn't changed. It's still there. But when yes, you can go find groups to play with and just stay to those groups. Yes, you can only play in certain types of levels or, types of play style that doesn't require it. You can only team up with the people that you enjoy. But that's a workaround to a bigger problem. Yeah. And for all of the guys, and there's been a couple guys in the chat room who've just talked about how they've been kind of schooled by women to say, like, stay in your lane, like, don't defend me, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
don't come to my rescue. Like, right. Okay.
Yeah, no.
And I think that sometimes that's you get what you ask for. For some people, like they try to be supportive, and if they get shunned enough times, like, okay, we're all equal. Have fun. If
Yeah,
like defend yourself, and it happens. It definitely happens.
Yeah, but my point
and
to
there's
that, my point to that piece of it is that it's it's about what you say, I believe.
Sure, yeah.
And so if someone is harassing a girl or someone who is, treating someone poorly, and let's use the girl for example, because that white knighting thing is coming up again, is to say, I would not be offended if another man in the voice chat said, "Dude, that's not cool." Just that. Just say, "Dude, not cool." That's defending in a way that is not, it's calling him out on his behavior. And it's not coming to my rescue. It's just calling him out on shitty behavior. And that itself is how you stop it. The same thing about the rape comment. Dude, it's 2017. We don't say that anymore. It's not swooping in and white knighting rescuing a girl. It's literally saying, "Dude, not cool." And
or knock it off. Just something very broad.
Yeah.
Just a broad statement like that would do better, I think.
And that is I think a very big distinction, in my opinion, is, when you come into that and think about white knighting, because I know that there's a lot of guys that are afraid of that because they've gotten bitten by it. A girl has come back and said, "You don't need to defend me." But I would be appreciative if someone actually said to me, or said in that defense, "Hey, not cool."
Yeah. I mean, that's the only viable solution that I can see to this, is for people to not stay silent. Because the technology is going that way. For crying out loud, competitive stuff, you have to talk nowadays. It is that when you want to get on that bleeding edge and get your rank, every other team has this advantage. It's kind of like at the Olympics when they banned that specific brand of swimming swimsuit, because it created like almost no drag in the water. Like anybody who got that suit was winning. That's the point that we are at with gaming, competitive gaming. You have to be on voice comms at the higher levels. You have to. At that point, you do get that responsibility of like, oh, we're, and you got to think of like this. The guys that, and I know I'm not talking to anybody that routinely treats people this way, because if you did, I don't think you'd be listening, because we'd be too nice for you. We'd be too sweet. Be like that tweet that you got, like, "Oh, I stopped listening to Timberl T. They're so positive." You are not listening. So you guys out there in the Moo Crew are, I hope, not like this. But to those other people, like, you have a responsibility once you get to these voice comm levels of competitiveness. You want to win. And it should not matter. The only thing that should matter is she taking the top lane? Is the person with the weird speech impediment, helping in mid? Who's got the Dragon Shrine on the bot lane? Who's got this? I don't care. Let's win. You should care about winning. That's what you're there to do.
Right.
But that's idealistic.
Yeah.
So we have to, like, a MacGyver said, silence is complicity. At that point, you should want to win enough to tell someone to shut the hell up when they're causing problems in your matches. And that's a way to think about it. If you're still this masochistic, person who's very juvenile, who still thinks, "Oh, girls don't play video games." Girls have been playing video games for decades. It's 50-50. It's right at 50-50.
Yeah.
They've been playing forever.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, Jules has been playing video games forever. My sister played video games when she was little. She still plays video games. She plays Pokemon Go. Granted, that's not high level Overwatch competitive.
Started playing,
Yeah. That idea that women don't play video games has never been true. It has never been true.
Yeah. But it still perpetuates to this day.
It does.
Yes, it's a joke. People put in there, "Girls don't play WoW, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, I get it. Blah, 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 blah. I've heard it 1,000 times, and it's not funny anymore. And
no.
So, and the whole thing about making sure that silence does not go on, like these comments don't be greeted with silence. I'm also at a disadvantage. I speak up, and suddenly I'm a target. And I have to make that choice every single time to decide if I am feeling emotionally prepared for this person to come lashing at me now. And, you know, that is the sad reality of it every single time. And I hate it because I hate being treated differently because of my gender. I hate it. I loathe it. And I have run into certain people within my career who don't like working with women. And, you know, even if I'm as capable and as smart as any man, I still get treated differently because I'm a woman. And it drives me insane. And so that is tough when you're going in, playing a video game, and, you know, I'd love to be able to stand up, and I do. You know, I've said to people, not cool, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're a girl too, or, you know, or you're hot, your voice sounds hot, and now it didn't stop it. It just made it worse. And I have to think about that in the back of my head in that split second before I decide to say those words or not, whether I'm equipped to deal with that right now or not.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, it is hard, but on the flip side of other guys standing up, would you want women to continue standing up as well? To just, you know, not, I mean, to kind of, you know, because these are, yeah, it's awful. These are kids online, and they're kids online that you may or may not ever play games with again. Doesn't discount it a single bit. But y'all have this, y'all have power too. You know, you're not defenseless.
No.
Little things.
But
You've got power.
We're damn tired of it.
Yes, but this fight is worth fighting, and it's going to take both guys and girls together fighting this thing to get it to be any better. And so I would say keep fighting the good fight on your end as well. I mean, and I know it's tough. I know, and you do it every single day, and it's tough and it's awful.
Yeah. You know, I'm a woman in podcasting. I'm a woman in startup business. It is, you know, I can't escape that reality as much as I try to. And every single day I fight for more equality in the things that I do. And sometimes people are more willing to talk to Pat Crane than they are to me because he's a guy and I'm a girl. And it's really annoying.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that just speaks to who they are. It doesn't say anything about you.
But my point being is that I do this fight every day. And sometimes when I'm playing a video game and you have that moment in your head where you're thinking about whether you want to fight that fight one more time, or you just wish that you could have that escape. And right now, HotS doesn't have that problem. Now,
well,
when it adds, it will, and I will have to make that choice, and I will have to make that decision every single time, whether or not I'm going to engage in that or not. Every time. It's an unfortunate reality. And
it is.
And I hate that it is, you know, and most days I'm equipped to handle it. Some days I wish I didn't have to. Most days I wish I didn't have to, but you do it anyway. And so, but I guess my point is that if I could ask for anything, I would ask for more, I'm going to say it, white men to stand up and speak out.
And men in general. Anybody that hears anything negative like that in the comms, because I'm not, you know, if I did competitive, I'm not there to hit on anybody. No one, you know, the games are only a few minutes long. You're not going to play with me again.
Yeah.
That's not the time. Oh, John, how'd you meet your wife? Oh, I hit on her in the middle of a heroes match. She sucked at Karazim, but when she switched to Lily, she was a good healer. That's how I knew she was a woman. You know, that and me telling her that and telling her to go make me a sandwich. Oh, she pretty much just rolled over right then. It was amazing. That's not going to happen. That's not how any of this works.
No.
Quit hating on people in video games like that. If you're there and competitive, be competitive.
Yeah.
That's what the game's for.
It's just treat people like people. Just treat them like people. It's
yeah.
You can't go wrong if you treat everybody like a person and and with the intention of coming in there and playing the game and winning. Like, that's what hey, I'm playing with 4 other people. It's not 4 other dudes or 3 other dudes and a girl, and so I just want, that is what I want with this. And we're not going to solve the world's problems, but it is something that has really stirred up a lot of emotion. And unfortunately, I will say this too, there's been a lot of really heated discussions that have broken down in a negative context between people because of the emotional feelings behind it, or not the willingness or unwillingness or inability to understand the other side,
Yeah, or not let a civil discourse turn uncivil.
Yes.
Different opinions are one thing. Slinging insults and stop being friends. Like, I mean, when Jules and I first started talking about this, it got heated.
Yeah.
Okay. I still love her. She's one of my best friends ever. And that doesn't change anything. And I completely understand where she's coming from. I don't know. I can't experience that personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my moments of discrimination as well, but it's not constant like that. It's not constant every time I get on voice comms or anything like that. Granted, I have not done the competitive scene, so I don't know it, but I was the fat kid getting picked on growing up. So I've got plenty of insults thrown my way.
Yeah.
I was the punching bag for many people. So I know that feeling. I'm familiar with it.
Right.
And I hate it.
And you hate it.
And yeah, and my ability to at least listen and understand and try to meet in the middle on the issue. Like, yeah, the voice comms are going to be a necessity. And I understand why Blizzard wants to put it in there, because when you have full teams of competitive, they've got their voice chats going already on Discord or what have you. And then you got 6 people that are just coming in. They don't have that coordination. They don't have the tool to connect them.
Right.
So they're offering this voice thing as a way to connect people. The intentions are good, but like with anything else, the intentions don't matter when broken, awful people get a hold of it.
Yeah. And I understand the intention, and I see why people are excited about it and why they are appreciative that it's being added. I see it. I understand it. It makes sense. It strategically and competitively, it makes sense. But unfortunately, the community has shown that it gets abused and treated in ways that make people feel excluded, discriminated against, harassed, and that I'm not okay with. I've been there, I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I don't want other people to go through that either. So that I see both sides, and I am resigned to the fact that it's going to happen. I mean, they're not going to take it out at this point.
No, they're not going to take it out.
No. And so, you have to deal with it, and you have to make a decision of what you want to do. But I wish that I didn't have to make some of those decisions anymore. Make those choices. The simplistic answer of saying, well, you can just turn it off. Great. That's great.
Yeah,
sure.
But
I don't like that dismissive attitude towards it.
That doesn't fix the problem.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it gets you away from the problem, yeah, but it's still there.
It doesn't take away the problem.
No, it doesn't.
So anyway, since we didn't have tell us one thing, we're gonna go super long and just do this. But
well, it's our show. We can do that.
We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah. This is our house.
And and if you'd like some reference material to some of that, I would recommend going to Steph's Twitter. She's Ferociously S on Twitter. She wrote a very long thread, and then you can read all the replies that came after it. And that was tough to read.
Yeah.
And so it's a very emotional and difficult issue. And I want to be an ally to anybody who does experience that harassment. And there's that moment in my head where I go, here we go. Because I know it's going to come flying at me if I say something, and I'm going to most likely say something anyway. So
yeah, well, that's when we all need to help each other. that's when other people need to stand up as well and back everybody up. Because if it's, say if it's in Heroes and 4 out of the 5 team is on the same page, and it's on the page of, hey, shut up, then they have no power. They have, and they'll either quit or they'll throw the game or get out of the group or try. Does Heroes have? I don't play much Heroes. Does it have a vote to kick or a flag or anything like that?
No, you can just report someone after the game is
report 'em?
over. But they have to complete you can't even kick them out of the group. They have to be there the entire game unless they choose to leave.
You can't report the mid game?
You can, and you can mute them. You can mute their pings.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay.
And obviously voice chat will have the option to mute people, but and I've done that. I've done that in Overwatch. Just muted somebody so I didn't have to hear them.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are so many tools that we can use. I mean, it doesn't fix the problem, of course, but if you tell them shut up, they won't shut up. Mute them, and the 4 of the rest of the players, the rest of the team can go at it and try their best with that other guy, and then group up for the next one if you can. Add them to if people are good, try and sift through the goods. Kind of like we were talking earlier with building a guild. Finding a group of people that you can rely on to play with. Can help when your regular team's not on, or you're do this. And
yeah, the unfortunate thing with competitive mode in Heroes of the Storm is that you either have Team League where you can group with more than one person, or there's the ladder, the standard ladder, which is single player only, single solo queue. So
they need to fix that.
You can't group with anybody. You got to go in alone. So you've got no allies. You've got nobody except the people that are and that's like Overwatch is even different with that. You can go in as a
group of 2 or 3 or 4. Yeah, you can go anywhere between 1 and 6. Sure. I think that's something that they should. I think that would be a big step into fixing some of this, is to allow you to do competitive in a group. I don't know why they don't do that.
They felt that it used to be able to group up with people, and then they limited it to just a group of 2, and then they stopped it completely because they felt that these groups had a competitive advantage to coordinate. Funny. To coordinate with each other, and wound up skewing the MMRs for those people who basically get carried or go in as a group and just roll a team. So they made it Team League only. Overwatch does not have that. It's literally going in competitive mode, and it's not there's solo queue, Hero League, and then there's Team League now. Yeah,
I think that should probably change.
That's something the players have been asking for forever.
Or maybe fix MMR to where it goes by different stats, or or make MMR not that important.
Yeah,
or
MMR is super important for certain things, and it's just a mess. It's a mess that's been going on for a while, and voice chat is being added to this. This is just like, I love the game so much, and I've been so frustrated with some of the things that have been as a part of it. So it's tough. It's tough.
It really is, and this. It speaks to, and I know Tiber said it's not human nature. I think it is, for people to be jerks. We all have the capacity for good and evil. And evil is a lot louder than good, because sometimes good doesn't say anything. And, it takes the power of the good to overthrow the evil. And that's what we need. That's what we need to kind of spread around, How do we start it? It's like the first couple dancing. We need people to start standing up and saying it's okay to tell somebody to shut up when they're being a jerk to somebody. Yeah. Doesn't matter if they're a woman, or if they have a speech impediment, or if they've got really bad accent or a really good accent, like, oh, you sound Scottish, you sound hot. And then it's like, some Scottish guys getting harassed. Like, shut up, we're not here for this. We're here to play the game.
Yeah.
That's, hey, you've got a cool accent. Thanks. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You compliment somebody. You have a nice voice, as opposed to, you sound hot. Jules has a nice voice. I get to hear it once a week, at least. I don't know if I've told you have a great voice. You have a great voice, which I know you know that.
I'm sorry, it's just the way you said it. All right, I'm tilted. I've been told that many times. It's just a matter of like, I just don't like to be in a position where I'm like, you know, oh my God, your voice is so hot. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, don't just, it makes me uncomfortable. Leave me alone. And, you know, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, you know, compliment somebody, that's fine. But don't make it creepy. Don't make it creepy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Please.
It's really tough to. Anyway, that is our discussion on the pros and cons of adding voice chat to Heroes of the Storm. If you have feedback that you'd like to share to the show, please do so. You can email the questions to questions@taurentthinktank.com. That's our email address. We also have the tweeters. And
who has it with us?
As the tweeters, I have to make sure. I have to double check this now. I believe I have it set so that our DMs are open on Twitter on Tauren Think Tank. I believe it is. But that is at Tauren Think Tank. And of course, you can message us on Facebook, facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. And we have our Discord, which is always ripe for discussion on our Discord, our discussion channel, I should say. And that quick link to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And so since we're kind of like running long and we have one slash move at this point, unless the chat room wants to get in on that, there is your 30-second warning, chat room, if you got a couple slash moves to add to the mix.
Yeah, we can throw them in there.
Put the sounder in and we'll go. And we have one slash move from Sel. He says, big slash move to all our guildies and friends who went out to Pizza Luce when Posty was in town. It was great to see all of you, and I look forward to the next meetup.
Oh, I love a good meetup, don't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that kind of threw together like the day before here in the Twin Cities area, and I had plans already, and I couldn't go, but a bunch of people wound up going, and it sounded like a lot of fun. So it was very cool.
Yeah.
And I think Pat and I are going to put together a Twin Cities meetup before Christmas too. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do a meetup around the Minnesota State Fair next year.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I would love to go there and experience some of that.
It was it's Labor Day. It was before Labor Day, like 10 days, and then it
okay.
Labor Day weekend.
I might have to. I'm thinking of traveling a lot next year, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're
I wish I could do more.
We're thinking. Yeah, we're talking about a couple of things, but. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So, do you have any slash moves or anything that you wanted to give today?
Well, I'd slash move to my grandfather because he is a fantastic man. He's one of the strongest guys I know. I know my mom's listening, so he knows him, but she knows him. But I think that's the only person who's met him. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's probably the most honest and fair used car salesman in the world, because that gets a bad rap. He's one of the good ones, like objectively one of the good ones. Good. And he was nice enough to tell when I told him that my car had broken down and the shop said it was $1,000. He said, "Don't worry, can you drive it up here today?" And so I drove it home, and he gave me a car to drive while he gets it fixed for me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, he's definitely one of the good ones. And I don't deserve a family as good as I got, but I am definitely happy that I got him. And plus, my mom's birthday was yesterday, and I gave her the bracelet that you made for me for her.
Yay!
And she loves it. I already sent Jules a picture of her wearing it.
Yes.
But yeah. So yeah, definitely slash moo and happy birthday to my mom, and also slash moo to my grandparents, because they're the best.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna give a slash moo to all of the Convert to Raid Guild, because they've been pretty darn awesome lately, and just lots of discussions, lots of excitement, everything that's been announced from BlizzCon. It's been a really cool place. So we had a couple that got thrown into the chat room while we were chatting. MacGyver says slash moo to Natani. She's had a massively stressful and busy month and hasn't said too much about it, but she is amazing. I love her and want her to know everyone else does too.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Natani. Sparrow says slash moo to Draven and Tiber for saying things I agree with in the chat room. I probably missed a bunch due to distractedly playing StarCraft 2 while watching. Still, thanks, folks.
And Marconin's mom says, /moo to Marconin for the beautiful bracelet he had Jules make for me.
Yeah. Yep. She really did like it.
I'm so glad. That is one of my absolute favorite pieces. So I love that. It's gorgeous.
It is. Oh, and Sparrow's got one more. /moo to, you're not supposed to do that, but /moo to Jules in the CTR party. I unexpectedly received a coloring book in the mail today.
You received it because you won it from the live stream giveaways. So that's why. You won.
Yay.
Yay.
You're a winner.
So yes, I mailed that out for live stream winners. Yes. So awesome. And that Marconin is a show.
It is. It is the 251st one.
The 251st episode of Tauren Think Tank. Good. We've made a lot of these.
Good grief, yeah. Quite a few.
Most definitely. Anything happening with you for the next 7 days and probably counting unless we can do a show like Wednesday?
Let's see. Justice League came out today.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I need to go see Thor.
Go see Thor.
I know I do.
It is a huge tonal shift from the first two. People are saying it's funny. It's very, very funny. And a lot of it was ad-libbed.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, you can tell it's got such a good comedy to it. It was really good. So yeah, Justice League is coming out. I'm going to be working on just a couple. I need to figure out how to hang all the posters and the shadow boxes and all this stuff in the room. So I might show pictures of that once I get that completed. That's about it.
Okay.
That's going on. I'll be doing Thanksgiving here in town. Nothing too fancy. Next Sunday, I'll probably be going back home to put up the family Christmas tree that I do every year for my grandmother.
Yay.
So
the grandmother Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. We listen to Christmas jazz stations on Pandora and dance around and build the tree and put all the stuff up. It's great.
That's awesome.
I love doing it. I've done it for several years now, and it's a lot of fun.
Yay. That's so cool. For me, next week, I'll be going to Thanksgiving at Pat Crane's mom's house with his family.
Cool.
They were very kind enough to invite me to come by, and I've been to their house, and it's wonderful. We have so much fun. So we're going to do that, have some turkey and do that thing. Probably get stuffed around, mid-afternoon and roll around on the floor for a while. Yeah, so Marconin and I will need to discuss if we can make a show happen this week or coming up or not. We will let you know on Twitter and do that. So, and Discord and all those great things. So awesome.
Yes.
Listen to the next episode of Dark Moon Herald because I'll be on that. And also the next episode of the Nerf This podcast talking about HGC because I'll be on that too.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. With that, we're going to bring this show to a close as we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, tarenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And you want some sweet Triple T merchandise. The holiday season is right around the corner, so you want to give an awesome gift. If you want a Triple T t-shirt, sweatshirt, mug, phone cases, laptop cases, whole bunch of slew of stuff on there. It's awesome. Definitely go check it out at tarenthinktank.com/store.
Yes, and a thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. We really appreciate you guys. If you would like to help out Triple T, you like what we do, and you'd like to support it, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. And if you want to meet other members of the great Moo Crew Triple T community, you can do so on our Discord server. The quick link to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us at 280 characters or less on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank, for Jules at Jules RPG, and I hit my microphone. And you can find me at Marconin. Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and being an awesome contributor to this discussion. We are here every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Time. You can find the video stream at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank, and we love seeing you here with us however you can consume the content.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Marconin.
Jules.
Have a fabulous day and fabulous week and fabulous Thanksgiving.
You too. And if I don't see you till 2 weeks from now, enjoy it. Enjoy your time with Pat's mom and family, and I'll see you around.
Yes, most definitely. So we'll keep you posted on the next show. For that, for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really? Good night, Dad. I love you too. Draven, your /moo was bogus and you know it.
What /moo was that? What did I miss?
He said like /moo to the non-douches out there.
Oh, I see it now.
Uh-huh.
That was an unintentional skip over.
That's okay. Why was my phone like buzzing?
I don't know.
Or my watch was pinging me. All these notifications. You missed the little dance. I do the dance every time. Thanks, Dad. Thank you. Go sleep well. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of stuff.
Just like a woman. Nah.
Nah. Don't freeze.
Steering the conversation.
The issues of voice. Yeah, he's pointing to that one as the choice.
Yeah.
Maybe white men should learn how to make their own sandwiches.
I make a darn good sandwich, okay?
I would totally expect that. I would expect that you would make a really good sandwich.
I do make a good
food
sandwich.
And you know good food, and so
Yes.
it would be like,
It's like it'd be like deli style, very good.
I see. That's so.
It could be the title "Make Your Own Sandwich," even though we didn't really say that during the show. I'd be okay with
your own damn sandwich.
Yeah.
The funny thing about because I've been cooking so much lately and making my own food, is how little I understand about just kind of the intricacies of food. Like when to cook with like oil versus cooking with butter, like with the smoke points and all this, like these things that I'm like, well, what's better to do this? Like, and that kind of stuff. And just like, so I make this thing for breakfast that's like this, it's called baked oatmeal, and it's like oats and, it's made with mashed banana and all, and like,
That sounds good.
It's really good. But because it's all natural ingredients, there's like nothing in there that's preserved. They go bad pretty quick if you like just leave them out in room temperature in a container for a couple days.
Yeah.
So I refrigerate it so that it stays longer. And so, but I eat that and it's like cold and it's like kind of doesn't taste good. And I heated it up, like just put it in the microwave for just like 30 seconds today. And I'm like, this is so amazing. It's so much better. Those little intricacies that are just like,
yeah, it's the best application of chemistry in the world is food.
God, and I suck at chemistry. I've always sucked at chemistry. Sometimes like, how much salt did I put in that? Oh, I put in way too much salt in that.
Whoops.
Ashaka showing up at the end. What's up?
It's kind of like when I tried sake cold and then I tried it warm. World of difference. I mean, I was okay with cold sake. I was like, it's not bad. But then I went to a restaurant, had warm sake, and I was like, this almost tastes like chocolate. This is weird.
See, and I
It's
don't
good.
like warm sake. I like it cold.
Yeah, it's like I was like, this is a different experience. I've never had. I don't do hot drinks much. I know I've said that a lot on the show.
Yeah.
I don't really do warm drinks hardly ever.
Mm.
But when I had it like that, I just kind of I took all preconceived notions out of my brain and just like I want to experience this blank slate style. And and I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
I know.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, and I drink when I drink coffee at home, I'll drink it hot. But when I go and I get coffee from like Starbucks, I like it iced coffee. I prefer it iced. So
I do too.
It's this weird like, juxtaposition, but I still like I'm constantly amazed by food like when I cook it and it turns out and I eat it and I'm like I made that and it tastes okay.
Yeah. It's like it's artwork that you can eat.
Yes.
It's like this. Ooh, that's why I like taking pictures of all that food I had at BlizzCon. It's so tasty.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss you, Mommy Burger.
I know, right? Oh, Mommy Burger, so good.
I got so fat off that meal, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
I got those cheese tots. I had to get them.
They're so good. I've been eating. When I got home, I was like, I paid my penance. I told Nicole and Tim, I'm like, I paid my penance for my BlizzCon meals by eating like nothing but everything loaded with veggies for the last 7 days or so. It's just like constantly vegetable, like all the vegetables. Because I ate like no vegetables the entire time we were there.
Oh yeah,
this is so bad. Right, unless you count
Ashanka, quit
refried
teasing
beans.
me. Yeah, don't tease me, Ash. The closest umami burger is Chicago. It's 8 hours in the car. More like 10 now that I live down here.
Yeah, for me, that would be probably about 7 hours now from here. Yeah. I enjoy it. It's good. So.
Well, let's see here. Where...
Oh.
Yeah. SoCal, NoCal, Chicago, Vegas, New York, Japan. Like, how about
Minneapolis on that list, please?
Or Dallas. Put Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Put Dallas on there. Yeah, 13 hours in a plane for you, MacGyver.
MacGyver's got a little bit of a longer trip. I think for Battle Panda, it was 17. Oh, no, it was 20 hours for him. Poor thing. But he got to experience Umami Burger for the first time. That was pretty fun. Sometimes I forget the stuff that he doesn't have in Australia when he comes to BlizzCon, and it's like, have you ever had this? And he's like, no. And we're totally getting that. Like, we're totally trying.
You need this. It's not that good, but it's a staple here.
Yes.
Well,
like,
and I
think he tried refried beans for the first time when he was with us.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah. Because he had Mexican food there, but it's different.
It's not the
was
same.
different. It's not the same. But yeah, it's just now I want umami burger again, and I want to go and do all that stuff, but I don't want to wait till November.
I know. I know. I just want to live in California. I'm so tired of winter, and it's only been here for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been gray and dreary and ugly.
Yeah, it's been kind of like that here, but it's been like I think the high tomorrow is going to be 75 or 70.
What?
Yeah, I know. And we had storms roll through. It rained most of the day yesterday, and it ended up warmer than it was before it rained. Usually, when the front moves through, it's a cold front, so it's cold afterwards. But this time, it was warmer. So I don't know. I think it's the last death throes of summer. Like, I'm going to make your fall weird and warmer.
Tomorrow it'll be a high of 40. It's like that's a heat wave.
Yeah. Let's see what it's supposed to be. Yeah, today was a high of 60, a low of 52. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 74. And then 71 on Saturday, and then 58 on Sunday. But then we're cruising in the upper 50s, lower 60s all the way through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
and MacGyver's sitting in the heat of summer already, so
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's so weird. So weird.
Yeah, it is, but you know, I hopefully one day I can go to Australia, because that's one of the places I've always wanted to go since I was a little kid.
Same.
Just wanted to go.
Yes.
Plus, I need to catch a few Kangaskhans on Pokemon Go. So
So let's just, plan a
let's just go.
massive vacation so I can go play Pokemon Go.
Well, I haven't actually asked MacGyver this, but I was like, hey, I was thinking, I could like log out of my account for a day or two, and then if like he just happened to see one, he could log in as me, so that the game is like, oh yeah, totally, he's not logged in for a couple days, so he's totally in Australia, and he can log in and catch me one, and then like 2 days later, I'll just log in again and have one magically. Today I had one of the Halloween event went on while we were there at BlizzCon, and there's a special like Pikachu with a witch's hat that was in there, and so you could catch a Pikachu with a witch's hat and evolve it to a Raichu with a wizard hat. But today I didn't know I still had eggs that were from the event in Anaheim, and I hatched a Pichu, little baby Pichu with a hat. I know.
He's so cute.
Yeah, so this is one of my Anaheim Pokemon.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
He's so cute. So I was happy because at the bottom, it says Anaheim, California. So I was like, yay, that's what I got. So now I saved him, so I'm not going to delete him.
That's
I've got a few named from when I have a Sandshrew named San Andreas, because that's when he was one of the first ones I caught in California.
California. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, you have Kangaskhan's up the wazoo. Oh. Then I may give you I may let you have my account information if you can get me a couple. Give me like 6
He's
or 8
got
of
no
them.
shame. You're gonna say this online of account sharing get banned. Just go ahead.
No one from Niantic's gonna be listening to the post show of this. I hope.
Brother's listening.
Well, then they should listen in on those conversations in Heroes and Overwatch.
I know. No, they just care
have...
about protecting your account in Niantic. They don't care about protecting you there. TM, bro. There you go. Oh, look at this.
This may have to happen. I love you, MacGyver.
There's violations of TOS going on right now.
Yes.
I have no idea if there's a Niantic TOS violation or not. Like, I don't even know. But
technically, yeah, but it's like when the Molten Core raid came on for the 10th anniversary. Yeah. I logged in as Catacodex's account and did the raid because it was like the last day to do it, and she was like out of town. So I just logged in and played as her mage.
Yeah. And
then got her the mount and then left. I mean, technically that was a TOS break, but oh well.
I know. I've logged in as Pat's account once before when we had to when he was the GM and I had to do something in a
that's
GM.
right.
So I've had to do that in the past, and I'm like, this is so weird.
Well, that was one of the things I told Kat. I was like, how do you play? Your bars are weird. I don't recognize your bars. How do you page in this?
Your bars, yes.
I'm not ready for these bars. Like, I had to change some things around, or like figure out. I was like, I'm just gonna lay at the back and shoot Frostbolt. Stay back, stay away, and then get them out. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Stay away. Ooh, and the anniversary event started today. I got to get on there real quick and do those dailies for that transmog stuff.
Hell yeah!
Collector mode activate.
Collector mode switch.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here, and we are going to relax. I will post the show tomorrow because that's how I'm feeling because I'm tired. So I'll post
our show. We can do it that way.
I think that's going to be the normal schedule unless I have to do it on Thursday night because I'm just tired. So we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll let you know what's happening for next week or not. And have a great week.
Have a great week, guys. If we don't do a show next week, happy Thanksgiving. Absolutely. We are thankful for the Mook Room. Thankful for every one of you guys that listen. You guys are awesome, and you brighten our day. And we're glad that we can help to brighten yours. So, /moo, guys, and we'll see you next time.
/moo.
/moo, guys.